think that might be everybody. Go ahead and get comfortable. Take your time. You'll be in here for the next couple hours, so if you want to take your coats off, get comfortable. Please do. Welcome to the 3D animation and visual effects portion of your day. I know that there was a lot of information given across the hall that is very important. So hopefully we got through the most of the homework, and we can talk about the fun stuff now. I say that knowing that we gave you a glossary as you walked in. So the homework does continue. Put this in your back pocket or take a look through it. Our reason for giving you this is because we know and understand that there's a lot of terms that might come up today, different parts of our pipeline and stuff that might be unfamiliar to you. So you have some reference points for that later. And we also gave you this. We'll take a look at this together in a moment. Cool. All right, great. So again, welcome to the 3D and VFX open house. I hope you're all excited to be here. I know the majority of you are here because you're interested in 3D and VFX, and then some of you are here because your program of choice isn't presenting today. But I hope you have an open mind, and maybe we can convince you to join us here. There's a lot of really great things that we do that you as artists can be a part of, and maybe will intrigue you into joining us as well. I do want to talk a little bit about the history of our department for just a moment, because this is a new name for us. We changed our name last year to the BFA 3D Animation and Visual Effects Department. Prior to that, we were BFA Computer Art, Computer Animation, and Visual Effects. So when you see alumni stories that are computer art alumni, computer animation alumni, those are our alumni too. I definitely want to take credit for them. So just keep that in mind. As a program, we've been here for over 30 years. And the name change just represents better how we've evolved and changed. Matthew did a great introduction of me. He made me sound really wonderful, so I thank Matthew for that. But I am Jimmy Calhoun. I am the chair of the department. So as he's mentioned, my responsibility here is to make sure that the curriculum, the faculty, the experience that our students have is one that we value, one that you will value, and make it the best we can. So I see myself as a curator of people, good people. So I'm looking for more good people to join us. We have great faculty and students. You'll get to meet some of those wonderful students today and hear from them. And maybe that's going to be you as well in a year or two if there's any younger students out there. The thing I'd like to start off with, though, is showing you some of the work from the past year. I think seeing what our students produce is just a really great way to represent what we have to offer you and who we are, show you who we are. So we'll start with a look of some of the thesis films from last year. Yeah. I wish I could take credit for some of those shots. They're really great. They're really amazing. The work that I just showed you is from the fourth year students, their thesis projects, but You'll see some of the work from our first, second, and third years as well as I show you other student work later. This is what it takes to get to the senior year. This is what our students experience in the 4 years that they have with us. And the 72 credits are studio art. So those are the credits, those are the courses that we control and we curate, and it's a production-based curriculum. So we start from the very beginning talking about storytelling, introducing our students to the 3D pipeline, the parts of that pipeline that include modeling, rigging, lighting, texturing, compositing. That's all important. Lighting is so important. I listed it twice. But again, I gave you this. So this is a pretty good explanation, a breakdown of the pipeline that our students go through. And it was illustrated by one of our staff members, Oliver, who's right over there. It's his lovely handiwork. But as you go through here, I like the way it's broken up on the handout in three places. So that top portion is really your pre-production. So this is where the artist is starting to think about the story that they want to tell, design that story, plan their storyboards. You go through the whole animatic process where you create the timing of that film that you want to make. Most of our students are working in a film narrative format. We do have some students creating other types of projects like games and VR projects as well. And then you go into the production phase. So you take all the designs and stories that you've created and you start producing those 3D assets that you need to create the project. And again, I gave you a glossary because some of these terms might be new to you. And then our students take it all the way through to the end, through the post-production with compositing, all the way through color grading and final output. This is a really simple explanation of what they do. Once you start looking under the hood at what our students do, it's not that simple. But let me give you an example of what a VFX student's breakdown of work would look like. Process, they actually start in the junior year. In their third year, students begin coming up with the stories and designing and planning what they want to do in their fourth year for their thesis project. So Anna, Riva, and Leslie Moroccan. I should have asked you how to pronounce your name. Leslie's going to tell you how to pronounce her last name. I'm sorry. So I'm going to ask Leslie and Anna to come on up, and they're going to show you the process that they've been going through to make their thesis film. So please welcome Anna and Leslie.
Lower this because I'm not that tall. Hello, thank you everyone for coming, and thank you Jimmy for inviting us to speak. We are the Chiquito team, and if you don't know, Chiquito in Spanish just means tiny. But yeah, so meet the team. My name is Leslie Marroquin, that's how you properly say it, if anyone was curious. I am the co-director, character modeler, animation lead, and layout and editor. I also am in charge of the storyboards and character designs.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna Riva, co-director of the film, also producer, environment lead, look development lead, and lighting lead. You can kind of see how we wrote more of what we do in the pipeline, so to be more specific. But I basically take care of all the visuals in the film and also organize our pipeline as a producer and take care of all the environments.
So, our pitch. An ambitious Salvadorian inventor has to get her teleportation device back from her pet armadillo. So I'll go into a little bit more detail about what will happen in our short film, but our story follows an ambitious Salvadorian inventor that is too focused on making her teleportation device. She ends up neglecting her pet armadillo, Chiquito, and he decides to take matters into his own paws. As a way to catch her attention, he steals the device from her at the exact moment it starts working. They accidentally get teleported to Brazil, where Chiquito is running around with the device while the inventor tries to catch him. So why did we decide to make a film about an armadillo? Well, being a first-gen college student, I always knew I wanted my thesis film to showcase my Hispanic heritage, specifically where my dad grew up, because he would always talk about what it was like growing up in El Salvador, and my parents have sacrificed a lot for me to be here, and I wanted to represent them in some way in my film. And when Anna and I decided we were going to start working together, she told me how important her culture was, and the film just evolved. And instead of just focusing on Salvadorian culture, it focused and represented Latino culture as a whole and the beauty and the similarities and differences of each one.
So I'm an international student. I was born and raised in São Paulo, Brazil. So I really wanted a movie to be like from not a foreigner perspective. I didn't want to represent Brazil like foreigners expect to see Brazil. I wanted to represent Brazil how I experience Brazil and how what I feel when I'm back home. So I really want to translate that visually because I'm mainly a visual artist that focuses on look development and lighting. So I really wanted to bring the colors and all the joy that I feel when I'm back home. I really wanted to bring that to the screen. So now we're going to talk a little bit of our characters.
So this is our mood board for Chiquito, the armadillo, obviously. And when looking at characters, I wanted to go in the style of Intergalactic, which is a film on Netflix made by Kid Cudi. He made it about his album with the same name. But in the film, they have a lot of hard angles and stylized faces that you can kind of see in the bottom right with the rats and the pigeons. And it was just very unique compared to the typical round and cartoon faces you usually see in most animated films. And we looked at 2 different types of armadillos and also 3D characters with the same anatomical features, like Tuk Tuk from Raya and Dizzy from Valorant. So with that, this is the process of getting to Chiquito's main design. The look we were going for was very unique and limited on references. So I asked my friend Locke Schloss in the 2D animation department if they would be able to help us get the specific shape language we were looking for. So I did the initial ones in the bottom right, very rough, and I gave Locke the previous slide we just saw, so they can create all these amazing designs. And the final design is the one you see in the middle there with the 3/4 turnaround. And that is something really cool about SVA. You can collaborate with the other departments on your projects, and this is just one of the ways we've done this with our film so far. So with that, I was able to model Chiquito in 3D. And style him a bit more now that he was in a 3D space, somewhere I was more comfortable in. I first started making him in a 3D sculpting program called ZBrush, and after that I put him into Maya, where I was able to push all the hard edges and angles we were going for. Like I said, we didn't have many references, so it was based on our own artistic eye and feedback we got from teachers and other peers. I really just wanted to push the hard edges with this character, and this is his final concept sculpt before he's ready to be put into Maya and get moving and rigged. And so this is our mood board for our inventor. As you can see on the right, you can see all of the like character designs from Intergalactic with the hard facial angles and strong facial features. With the Encanto characters, I was specifically looking at their hair and their clothing as reference, and I was also looking at traditional Salvadorian clothing because I wanted the inventor to be proud of her culture and to wear the inspired traditional clothing while she was working on all her inventions. So yeah, these are all the references. And with that, I was able to create the design for the inventor, and these are a few looks I did trying out how the pants would look, and I also did a head turnaround. The bottom one is my initial design in my own style just to get comfortable with how I wanted her to look, and then on the top I pushed the style we were going for with the extreme hard edges and angles on the cheekbones just to get that look from Intergalactic we were aiming for. And so with that, this is our inventor turntable. Yeah, sorry. This is our inventor turntable where I was able to model and rig her, and again, just pushing those hard angles in the cheekbones to get the look that we were going for in the original design, and I'll let Anna talk about the texturing.
So when I did this last semester, I was still trying to figure out the look we were going for. One of our main references is Puss in Boots, so I was really looking at that and how they stylize clothes mainly. I haven't developed at the time the look. I mainly did that during summer, so this is a very rough first pass that we did. One thing that I really want to keep in the textures is the wear-off jeans she has, because texturing can tell a lot about storytelling and can also be showcase a little bit of her characteristics. So to show off how hardworking she is, and she always probably wearing same clothes and also working a lot in the same place, it would be normal that her jeans have like stains and it's very weared off. And also I really want to have, because she has so much leather in her design, I really want to push that and have like different types of leather to showcase the different objects, different types of clothing she's wearing. So yeah. And now our main prop, the teleportation device.
So this is a reference and inspiration for the teleportation device itself. Originally, I wanted the idea to be, it looked like a regular object and then open up to be magical, to reveal its magical form, just because I thought that would be cool. So the actual object, to connect it to my culture once more, I chose a capirucho, which is in the bottom right, which, if you remember the kendamas that used to be really popular back in the day or whatever, it's kind of the same idea of trying to get the ball in the cup, but with this, it's getting the cup on the stick. It's a very traditional Salvadorian toy, and a lot of Latino cultures have their own version of it. And I also did a 2D animation test just to see how it would open up, just because we're going to pass it off to someone else to model and rig it, and I just wanted to make sure they had an understanding of my vision for it. So I did that 2D animation test, and this was the final result.
So this is our most recent progress on the textures of the device and the animation test and effects test. So like Jimmy mentioned, what we do is very complicated. So this was the work of 4 people. We had one person modeling, another person rigging, Leslie did the animation, and I was responsible for texturing, effects, and compositing. So like you see in the previous design, the previous slide, with the capirucho, the designs Leslie showed me kind of really have a unique way of designing trees, so I kind of pushed that in the design and also applied my own reading on that. And for the effects, this is just a first pass because I'm still developing how the the particles are gonna make the whole device and all the characters disappear once they teletransport. And now we can get into the environments. So this is the mood board I did for the environments. We have three environments. Two of them are in El Salvador, and one of them is in São Paulo. So I really wanted to have them have like their own color schemes because the films also happens throughout the duration of a day, so that also helped us kind of like separate how each environment was going to look. So in El Salvador, we start with an open shot that also is inspired by Leslie's family, the place where her father grew up in. So we see a lot of tree, a lot of nature. A lot of my references for lighting is Encanto, as you can see in the pictures. And I was going really for a very like warmer color palette. And then once we go in the shop, being like a lot of wood, naturally is also going to be a very warm color palette. And I really want to push because we have a big window with designs and stuff because of the grade that they have in the windows. I really wanted to use that as one of the main light sources. And for Brazil, I really wanted to, like I mentioned, put my own style in it. That I usually use a lot of colors and a very vibrant color palette. So also being at the end of the day, towards the evening, it was easier to push that look and also showcase how different it is from the place that she's coming from and push how overwhelming she's going to feel when she's in Brazil compared to when she's at home, that she's more comfortable. So these are the style frames that we did last semester. So on my end, I was trying to, like I mentioned, push a little bit of the colorful style. And it was a good start for me to understand. I did some tests last semester too to kind of understand how much I could push this look in 3D and how much I could do in compositing or with colors and the best way to translate these 2D images to a 3D medium. And here are real life references of the places we're referencing. We really want to be as accurate as possible, so we're using pictures. Some of the pictures I took when I was back home, and some of the pictures Leslie's family sent it to her. So it was very nice to like have this connection with the places we're representing because it's easier for us to get accurate references. And for São Paulo, I chose to represent a touristic place called Beco do Batman, which, as you can see in the pictures, has a lot of graffiti in it and is a very nice artistic place that I also feel like represents the city very well because you see graffiti everywhere. And I really wanted to bring that and bring those art styles to the film. So one thing that you see there is a lot of different types of art styles. So we really wanted to bring that, how the real place feels to the screen. So we opened some submissions for illustrations for people because we really, especially in an era where you see like AI art, we really want to make this place happen with like collaboration between artists. And since we're in art school, it's very easy to like ask people for illustrations if they're interested in being part of our film. Here, for the main environment, we have the inspirations here for the inventor shop. So these are the very early designs I did last semester. The base, it's kind of the same. We have kind of the same idea for things, but the layout ended up changing a lot. And you can see some of the films that we reference. So we look a lot of, at Big Hero 6 and also some Riot cinematics, mainly Raises because this cinematic, you kind of see her workshop. And here are some lighting tests I did last semester, pushing again like the look that I mentioned coming from the window. This was an early design. It wasn't, not an early design, but like a first pass of modeling because I didn't have all the modeling finished and the designs on the window is still not the final design. But yeah, I really want to push this even more and make it even more the contrast even bigger because I also want the place to feel a little heavier and moodier because to represent that she's been in that place for so long and she's just been focusing on that device so much that like that's all that she can see. And this is the more or most updated modeling. So as I mentioned, the designs on the windows and the doors is something that is very common in El Salvador and also in Latin America as a whole. So it was very fun designing those, and also just we did some changes in the story during summer, so I had to like adapt the layout of the environment. But you can kind of tell how that evolved from the first design I did last semester. And this is our environment assets that were modeled by other people. So we were able to reach out to underclassmen and also graduate students. And it's just very nice because everyone's always so willing to help and so excited to help. So I think it showed me and Leslie how fun it is to just build something that alongside other artists that are just so excited to also bring this movie to life with us. And if you're interested in seeing more of us and more of our film, you can follow us on Instagram. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very cool. Really great work. Thank you for sharing that. Sorry, I mispronounced your name. Yeah, so it's really, this is just one example of the currently about 60 thesis films that are in production right now. One of the great ones, but they're all great, but I really appreciate Leslie and Anna for talking you through their project. And all this work is being done at our facility, which you'll come over after we're done here and take a look at. You'll see our classrooms, the computer labs where our students have access to outside of class. We have production studios, which include a green screen, mocap, and sound production, and a color grading suite as well. And the people who come to that facility, our community is our faculty, our staff, our students, and our alumni. We have alumni return often to talk to our students. And it's just a really great community of diverse voices. One of the things I love about the work that we make is that it's very specific to the voice of our students. I think all of our students have a unique voice, something that they want to say, and a vision, and we just try to support that. And it's really wonderful to see how different works come from our community. Our faculty are all working professionals. They often come in before work or after work and talk to our students about the projects that they're making at their studios as well. And it can lead to internships and a deeper connection to the industry for our students. Our students are also really great at developing the community for themselves. So Matthew mentioned earlier that there's student clubs at SVA. Within our department, we have some very specific student clubs as well that are just for our students. And some of those students here today are leaders in those clubs. And just this past week, they had an event, a Jeopardy event, with a lot of fun trivia, and it was a really great time. There was a great turnout. Lots of pizza was eaten, I believe. And I think my baby picture might have shown up in their trivia. But and outside of our walls, our students are doing internships. A lot of these happen over the summer. Some of them during the fall and spring semester remotely, and obviously these are some really great studios, but there's some studios here in New York that you may or may not know yet. You will get to know them, that are doing really wonderful work, and our students find a lot of opportunities with them as well. And Lucy better be here. Lucy's talking on her panel. There's Lucy. Lucy just spent the summer at Pixar, so she'll tell you more about that in a little bit as well. After our students graduate, they are alumni. We stay well connected to them. They're working at a lot of different studios, doing a lot of different things. In addition to these animation and visual effects studios, we're finding more students working in architecture design, medical visualization. I was just at the Met last week talking to one of our alumni who's 3D scanning the artifacts at the Met with the imaging team there. So our skills, are very open outside of the animation and visual effects industry. So there's opportunities beyond. We visit our alumni. We like to say that the year after our students graduate is the 5th year. We take the thesis films that they've produced and submit them to film festivals, and it gives them an opportunity to travel to different festivals with their work and showcase that. And we also, as I mentioned, we invite our alumni back here. Just in the last month, September, we had our annual after-school special, which is our alumni film festival. We screened Barbie and the most recent Spider-Verse film, and our alumni who worked on those films were here and talked about their experiences on those projects. But yeah, I really think the best thing for you all is to hear from our students. So we're going to have a student panel. I'm going to invite Katie, Lucy, Vin, and Isabella up, and Leslie's going to come back up and moderate. While they're setting up their chairs, I'm going to play you the reel, these students' reels, so you can see the work that they're currently making as well. But you all come on up. couple questions to get us started, but then she's going to ask you for your questions, so start thinking about them now. We have some people with microphones that'll walk around when you have a question. So please welcome our student panel.
Hello again. We'll start out easy and start out with some introductions. So if we all want to go down and say your name, your year, your pronouns, and where you're from. So whoever wants to start, whatever end.
Oh, sorry. Hello, my name is Vin Vo. I'm a sophomore at SVA. What's
Pronouns.
my pronouns? My pronouns are he and him.
And where you're from.
Where I'm from, I'm actually from Mississippi, Biloxi, Mississippi. So.
Hi, I'm Katie Chang. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm from Central Jersey.
Hi,
Yeah.
everyone. Thanks for coming. My name is Lucy, she, her. I am also from Central Jersey.
Hi, my name is Isa. I'm from Brazil, and my pronouns are she, her. Oh, and I'm a junior.
There you go. Yeah,
Oh,
your
yeah,
years.
I'm a junior too.
I'm a senior.
There you go. All right. We'll start with another easy question. What are your guys' interests and hobbies, and how do you spend your time outside of the classroom and even SVA?
All right, so I do a lot of things. I'm really active. I know as an art student, it's kind of crazy that I do like a lot of active stuff. So I like to do volleyball a lot. Sometimes football, tennis, pickleball, golf. Maybe I'm just saying random stuff, but I also like doing piano a lot too. But yeah, I like piano. I played the French horn a lot back then. So yeah.
I used to be a competitive ice skater, and I used to do Kung Fu as well. Now I don't do that so much. I just do Pilates. Sometimes I go to the gym. I like to crochet, knit, so literally anything crafting, and I play video games a lot. So.
Outside of school, I like to do Muay Thai. I love to embroider. I love painting. I love making dolls. Anything handcrafted, I enjoy doing.
Well, mine is not that interesting. I just really like to play video games on my free time. So, yeah.
Thank you, guys. I love the work-life balance. We're really encouraging that. A little bit of a harder question. What piece of advice would you wish you had your freshman year starting at SVA in this department?
I wish I had discipline because I always like to slack a lot, procrastinate. But like if I wish I had a lot of self-discipline, I think I could have achieved better, do a lot better during my freshman year. So.
I would say don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid of critiques. Critiques are so helpful. You can't take everything personally. Critiques are meant to help you improve. It's okay. It hurts sometimes because sometimes you are really attached to your projects, but just move on. Take it in for next time. If you want to improve that same project, that's fine too, but use it to learn. Don't let it tear you down.
Yeah, the biggest advice I would give to myself is similar to Katie's response. I wish I had more confidence and urgency to go out and ask questions, not just to teachers or peers, but the faculty, staff, or members at our department. Most of them are working at the industry or has worked in the industry, so they have a lot of advice to give us. So I wish I were more proactive in asking for feedback, even if I didn't have questions, just befriending them and, building that relationship with the people at our school.
I think similar to what Lucy said, I would say go to the labs, spend time at school, and ask everyone what you're thinking. Don't stay at your dorm. Don't work at home, because you're gonna get a lot of help from other people, from seniors and juniors and all that stuff. And we're always here to help, even though we're students, we might not know it, but we can learn together.
I love all that. That was very nice. I think I would say the same thing. Go to the labs. It really does help, especially we're all in it together working on these projects, so it would definitely also encourage that, like everyone else said. Do we have any questions yet in the audience? Oh, I see a few hands.
Right here.
I have two questions. Is it only computer animation, or like do you do any practical stuff? And what kind of dolls do you make?
What do you mean by practical stuff?
Like, is it
Stop motion.
Yeah, I would say stop motion.
like is it
Film.
just computer animation, or do you like do anything like with your hands and stuff? Like
So
like sculpture or stop motion? Sorry.
No, sorry, I interrupted you. You are able to take a stop motion course from the 2D department. My ex is his thesis is currently a stop motion thesis fully, and he is in our major. You are able to go into that. It's really, you make your own curriculum really here. You are able to explore. You might have to communicate with the department more, but it's possible for you to go into that more if you would like to.
Yeah, like Katie said, you can take classes outside of our department. So 2D animation or stop motion classes you are more than welcome to take. As for the dolls I make, I love making like puppets, wooden puppets with clay and wood, and yeah. Thanks for asking.
I just wanted to know, like, similar to what she said, does that also apply to like game art and design type stuff? Like I really want to get better at character designs and then also get into like 3D so I can like make like video games and everything like that. I'm just wondering if that also applies to here, or like would I have to do like 2D animation and 3D animation?
You can totally do game. I'm in a game design class right now, actually, this semester. Yeah. We have a couple of different classes. The one I'm working in currently, we use Unity. There are also some classes in Unreal Engine. Again, your character design usually comes in your base classes, but we also do have like concept art classes where you can, and you go over how to like do concept art for environments, for characters, everything. So just like choose your studio classes carefully and you'll be able to do whatever you want.
I think we have a question over here.
Hi. Sorry. My question would probably have to be like, do you necessarily have to really know animation in order to like be accepted to like either 2D or 3D?
Actually, no. Like 3D is something very specific, and they're gonna teach you everything. And like the learning curve is so big from like when you get here to the end of your first year and the end of like you're gonna improve so much like quickly. And yeah, if you know like how to draw, if you're an artist, that's enough. Yeah.
Thank you.
To add on to that, I actually never touched 3D at all before coming here. And you do have the classes which teach you animations. If you want more supplemental stuff, we run the animation club right now. So we have clubs to help you. We have demos, workshops, everything. So I think joining a club would also help you with that if you would like to focus on animation.
I'm also gonna plug the Mars Club because I help run that one, and that one has like a mentorship. So like, kind of like what like other schools have like tutors. So you get paired up with an upperclassman mentor, and so anything they know that you would like to learn, they would also teach you. And we also bring past alumni to do demos and stuff like that. So there's resources at schools. So don't worry. Do we have any other questions? Oh, there's a lot of hands.
Hello, how are you guys doing? You guys' work is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. What programs would you guys suggest to students looking to apply to SVA for 3D animation or anything like that? And what type of, how would you suggest to, I'm sorry, it's a two-part question. And how would you suggest they stylize or put together their portfolio during admissions?
Oh, as for me, I did not add any or put anything 3D related for my portfolio, and I think most of us have never touched 3D. So don't be intimidated if you don't know where to start as 3D. Like for me, I just included paintings and illustrations, all traditional artwork, and I was admitted to 3D programs. So I don't think there is a necessity of learning 3D softwares or programs to get admitted to this program.
If you do want to look into the softwares, though, we use Maya in the school, which is a licensed product. I don't think you can get it without buying it, but Blender is free. It's good to try it out. So, yeah.
I think we have a question over here.
I actually have two questions. The first question is, I am a dual enrollment student, so I don't know if my credits will be honored. And if they are, will I be coming in as a first-year student or a transfer student?
I think that would be a great question to ask more of the admissions staff and your counselor, usually when you get assigned a counselor, because it's very unique student to student based on transfers, because I also had dual enrollment, but it's very specific to students. So that would be a great question to ask admissions and counselors, someone who can look at what credits you do have and how you would start out.
Cool. Do you also know your acceptance rate for SVA?
I don't think any of us know it on the top of our heads, but that's a great question for admissions. Another great question. So I'm sure one of them would be able to tell you.
Thank you. Just have a two-part question about AI, because there's so much out there about AI. Do you guys use AI, and also what are the discussions that you have in your course, in your courses with your professors about AI and how it's going to impact potentially the artistic field?
I think that's a very good question, very layered. It's a hot topic nowadays. I think we have a lot of discussions about it because we can't ignore it. It is there. I think the general consensus in my grade, at least, is a lot of us, we understand that AI can be a tool, but we want it to be a tool to help artists, not replace artists. And a lot of us are waiting until it's all the artwork is ethically sourced, that all the artwork that's being used is fairly compensated, the artists are compensated. But we also have students from all ends of the spectrum. Some are very AI forward and want to learn that. Our program doesn't completely prohibit the use of AI, but we do have a rule that you have to tell your professor has to allow you to use it on projects, first of all. Second of all, you have to declare what in your project was AI. We also currently, I think there's an AI workshop happening. It's totally optional. If you want to opt in, you can. So again, it's we offer something for everyone. So if you want to go into that, you can. You don't have to. If you want to just learn, if you want to debate, you can still go to that course. If you don't want to look at it at all, you don't have to look at it.
There's a question here.
So this question is mostly about your projects, how long it took you, how much trial and error did it take you to make them?
So for me, it took me 2 days actually, because I already have all my animations done. But then at first I did it for 2 minutes, and 2 minutes is way too long. Most people would recommend 1 minute, around 1 minute. Because I also send this to a lot of people to get feedback from, and everyone kept saying keep it short. And if you want some other advice, always put your best work in the very beginning, and then your second and third it keeps going. So I'll keep like that.
It's definitely a long time for each project. Just manage your time well. as you get more comfortable with the programs, I think freshman year was worst for me because I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know how to manage my time. As you go through your years, you will learn how to do that.
Hi, I got two questions. One, do you guys teach 2D animation, and two, do you guys use Blender?
We do have a Blender course actually, and I think it's. Do you know what grade is it mainly for? Like junior?
I think if you have an elective and you can't
What?
take it, you can take it. It's a Blender course specifically for like 2D animation. You can take an elective outside the major and take a like basics 2D animation class, but there's nothing in the course that's mandatory or will teach you 2D animation. We mainly focus on like 3D animation.
I was gonna say like also like there's somewhat 2D animation. Like we also use like After Effects, and that kind of like relates to 2D animation. And also some of the storyboarding class we do animatics. So maybe if you want to do some like 2D stuff, you can do it there. So.
Okay.
But as for the 3D software, our department focuses in Maya because that's the industry standard software. So you can use Blender, but most of the classes you will be using Maya.
Okay, I'm like a little bit nervous to ask. Like, I don't really know anything as much about financial aid, but are there any more financial aids that I could like apply to and kind of like lower the cost of the college? Because like I live in a low income family, like less than 30K, or maybe less than 10K for an income. But are there any more ways just kind of like lower that price, or I feel like I might be better off to transfer if I have enough money?
I think that's a great question for financial aid, specifically what you've applied for, but there's always outside scholarships you can apply for. And after your freshman year, there's like, if you have good grades after your freshman year, they also is an SVA assistant grant, but I would specifically talk to like a financial aid advisor who can look at your stuff. But yeah, outside scholarships are always helpful.
One thing I want to add to that, also check like the website SVA website, because there's some grants that I didn't get until I decided to email them about it, and they finally gave me some. So keep a lookout, because I'm also in a low-income family too, and I had to try to find every way I can to get like the grants, the financial aid. So.
Okay, thanks. Because I'm like a junior in high school year, so like I just feel like it might be a little bit hard for me to find some.
It's okay, because I did community college, which was a cheaper route, so I did that way.
Okay, thank you.
Specifically look into Silas H. Rhodes Scholarship. Yeah, when you're applying. Yeah, that's good.
All right, I think we have time for one or two more questions. So I think I have one right over here.
Hi, I was wondering what your average week looks like with coursework and like how long the classes are.
As a junior, I have 5 classes. I think everyone has 5 classes. And my week sort of looks like I'm doing like starting thesis stuff. So we do like concept art and that kind of stuff. And then I always have like a 3D project going on. Currently I'm working on environments. So each week is like it's modeling, then texturing, then lighting, and then move on to a new project. And yeah, it's always like dynamic. But yeah.
Very quick. So registration. You were mentioning that you can design a lot of things. You can take classes in different departments. How is registration for classes? Because in some places it's a Hunger Games, especially if you're a first-year student. So I'm very curious about your experience on that.
Yeah, it is Hunger Games. I would say if you have credits from high school that you can transfer over, transfer them, because I think I'm not completely sure, but I think the more credits you have, the sooner like it's in like blocks. So the sooner you get to transfer your classes. I had a lot of APs and like dual enrollment credits from high school. So when I transferred them over, I was able to register for my courses a full day earlier than most people. So get on that.
Also, like, if you did community college, you're also like one of the first people to like register too, because all the credits you have. So keep that in mind.
Do not worry about that in the first year though, because you have like blocks. Your classes are all set up for you, so you don't need to worry. Just on second year, then do worry.
Okay. Have you all done any internships? If so, where and how was it? And what is your ideal job when you graduate?
Yeah, I had an internship this summer at Pixar. My favorite part about the internship was just the collaboration and how like welcoming and helpful and loving everyone were at Pixar. Like the interns, there were 9 of us. We had to do like independent project on whatever we wanted to make, and there were a lot of help that we needed, and the way we asked for help was just messaging individuals to ask to come to the room that you're in, and just kind of you're asking. I got the opportunity to just reach out to so many different amazing artists who are very well established in the industry whenever I wanted, and they would come into the room that I'm at, and they just answered questions, they helped me out, they walked me through how to do certain things, and that kind of collaboration and teamwork where you're in a room with a bunch of amazing creative people and you're just making things together, united through one vision, that in itself was art for me. Just the act of making something together. That was truly spectacular and amazing, and hopefully after I graduate I can work in a place like that where everyone's so receptive and so accepting and helpful and wanting to create something beautiful together.
Something. Okay, so for those who gets rejected from internships, so because I know I'm only a sophomore, but I still apply to 10 internships just to get the experience, so you can be prepared for next year, and you keep trying and do better. Watch a lot of videos, download LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is the greatest place to get some internship connections. So have a lot of social media so you have to too, because right now it's an industry we need as much connections you can get. So
as for LinkedIn and all that, Jimmy actually runs our professional practices class. So you do make your own LinkedIn, you make your own reels in that class, you go over your resume. So our department makes sure you know how to do all of that.
I think those are the last. Oh.
He asked what you want to do professionally. I want to hear what each of you want to do professionally, and then we can be done with the panel. But.
Okay. So what I want to do professionally is become a character animator, or maybe somewhere in the animation industry. I could want to do maybe Pixar or movie industry, but I'm more towards the game industry. So hopefully I'll be taking some game classes. So character animation.
I also like character animation. I do like games. I play a lot of games. So I'm sure you guys know Arcane. So I want to do something like that. I think it's so cool. I love their style. I love their animation. And I play League, so.
Well, I would dream of making my own film one day. So.
I really want to be an environment artist because I feel like environments, they say so much about people. You can tell anything about a person just by going into their room. So I want to tell stories about people through objects. That's what I want to do for games, film, whatever. I just want to do that.
Like I showed in my thesis, I want to be a character modeler, a character animator, so character TD, hopefully lead one day. I like talking with people and interacting, so anything like that would be really exciting in film, games, TV, commercial. I'm open to everything. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys.
Let's thank our student panelists. Y'all can stay right there. Give me 2 minutes, and then Jake's going to tell us how the rest of the day is going to go. I did want to, I thought there were some really great answers there. You will have a chance to talk to more students on the tours. So if you didn't get your question answered, hold on to it. You will have a chance to talk to some more students later. And I'll be back at the facility when you're there. So if you want to talk to me directly, I'll be around as well. I wanted to mention, just because it was brought up, AI. I think they gave a great answer to that. I think that obviously we're still in early phases or maybe late phases. I don't know. AI is constantly changing, but I think there's a lot of ethical questions around it that is concerning to artists. But there's also ways to use it to be trained on just your art. So there are opportunities to use the tools in an ethical way. So when we bring in workshops and things like that, it's to examine it from those different perspectives and to have conversations around it. We certainly have students using it to help them with coding, to help them be inspired on, like instead of doing a Google image search, they might go into a generator and get some ideas from that. So there's ways to work with it. And there's also a lot of software that use machine learning within it. So when we talk about AI, it's such an all-encompassing term that doesn't necessarily just refer to image generation. There's tools within the software that can be trained on your footage and help you rotoscope and that sort of thing. So it's important to be aware and thoughtful when you're looking into AI and the way that it can be used. But your answer was also great. So yeah, Jake, if you want to come on up and tell us what the rest of our day is going to look like, and thank you all.
Thank you, Jimmy, and thank you everybody for coming. So now, probably to everybody's great happiness, we're going to serve lunch. So if you could all just remain seated for the moment, I'm going to call you by group. You're going to come up, exit down the stairway closest to the podium, and come out into the entranceway following the stanchions. You'll find boxed lunches and other goodies there waiting for you. So I'll start off calling the groups now. Yes, you'll be coming, you'll be going down, coming back up, and we'll have a good selection of films and other student work to show you while you're enjoying your food. And afterwards, we'll be heading off to the department, and we have a good full day planned for you. So I'll begin by announcing the groups. So groups 1 through 3.